All right, let's get right into it. Imagine achieving massive generational wealth. I'm talking about the kind of money that literally alters family trees forever, but with a major catch. You remain completely invisible to the world. Not a single neighbor, friend, or coworker knows. You aren't hiding exactly, you're just being ordinary on purpose. While everyone else out there is exhausting themselves performing wealth, you quietly became it. So welcome to today's explainer, where we're going to unpack the ultimate financial paradox, the life of the silent millionaire.
To really get this, I want to put you directly into the shoes of this silent millionaire. Picture this. It's 7:12 a.m. on a random Thursday. You're standing in the plumbing aisle of a Home Depot. You've got an $8.47 bottle of drain cleaner in one hand and your phone in the other, trying to remember if the pipe under a utility sink you own is PVC or galvanized. The fluorescent lights are buzzing overhead, there's a forklift reversing with that slow beeping sound in the next aisle over, and right then, your phone buzzes. You open an email, and there it is. Your total verified net worth just crossed $650 million.
The ordinary $650 million. So you check your phone and there's no champagne popping, there's no fancy dinner reservation, it's just an email from your accountant, Karen. And notice the subject line, Q2 Portfolio Summary Final. No exclamation points, no emojis, formatted in the exact same 12-point Times New Roman font she's used for 19 years. Holding over $500 million arrives with the exact same energy as a dentist appointment reminder. But to understand how we ended up in this fluorescent lit aisle, we actually need to rewind. We have to go back about 11 years to establish the core concept of this entire explainer. We're looking at a fundamental shift from the performance of wealth to what we're going to call the architecture of wealth. The architecture of wealth is basically a quiet system of assets running entirely unseen, without you. It solves basic, deeply unglamorous human problems to generate consistent cash flow, whether you're actively watching it or not. The architecture of wealth. This whole empire, it didn't start with some flashy tech pitch deck or a massive venture capital round. No, it started on a random Tuesday afternoon. You're leaving a hospital shift, waiting for the parking garage elevator, and you notice the water machine is jammed. But instead of just being annoyed, you look past the annoyance and ask the golden question, wait, who actually owns this thing? That Tuesday observation turned into a Wednesday realization that small operators run these machines, which led to a Thursday purchase, a used, slightly beat-up vending machine for $900 placed in a dental office lobby with a simple handshake agreement. And that was the spark. A compounding system of quiet decisions was born right there. After that first month, after restocking it yourself, paying the location it's cut, and buying the product, you netted exactly $190. Your coworker probably made more than that doing a single weekend overtime shift, right? Nobody congratulated you, but that $190 changed your life. Because that net profit wasn't about the money itself. It was the exact moment the architecture was proven to work. The machine didn't need you. It just sat there in a hallway, solving a problem, and paid you. The uninteresting asset portfolio. Okay, fast forward to today. You're sitting at a folding table in the back office of your third laundromat with Karen, your hardened accountant who absolutely does not impress easily. I mean, she's seen it all, from sloppy LLCs to chaotic sole proprietors with shoebox receipts. You hand her a single folder containing a summary of everything you currently own. She reads it slowly, looks up, and says, "This is the most deliberately uninteresting portfolio I have ever seen." Now, she meant it as a mild criticism, but as a silent millionaire, you take this as literally the highest compliment you have ever received. It means exactly what you built is working perfectly. It's unglamorous, unseen, and highly effective. Let's actually walk through this completely anti-startup portfolio. First, you own 4 Midwestern laundromats. The very first one was bought from a retired postal worker named Dale, who literally ran the thing out of a spiral notebook. Those net about $110,000 a year. Then, you've got 2 municipal parking lots bought at county tax auctions, where nobody else even bothered to show up. They net $58,000. You also own the land under 3 highway billboards, pulling in $800 to $1,400 a month each. And finally, you own a commercial cleaning company servicing 12 contracted clients that you bought from a retiring owner named Frank. That one pulls in $1.1 million in revenue. There's no fancy logo, no mission statement, just pure cash flow. So the crucial point here is understanding exactly why you chose this path. You operate exclusively in what we like to call the Tuesday morning markets. Think about it. People always wash their clothes. Buildings get dirty every single day. These are basic needs that simply do not negotiate with recessions or interest rate spikes. There is no app out there that can disrupt or innovate a flat piece of asphalt parking lot. You deliberately avoid the flashy, venture-backed tech plays where attention is a liability and one bad quarter can ruin years of work. In the Tuesday morning markets, being incredibly boring is actually your biggest competitive advantage. The armor of ordinary life. To really grasp the value of this stealth approach, picture a local business networking event. On one side of the room, you have the networking guy. He's wearing a $340 plain white t-shirt. He pulled up in a matte gray wrapped Range Rover, and he is loudly pitching his portfolio to anyone who will make eye contact. On the other side is you. You drove a 2019 Honda Pilot with 91,000 miles and a slightly cracked bumper. You're wearing a fleece you grabbed on sale at a sporting goods store. When he asks what you do, you just shrug and say, "I own a few laundromats." He immediately writes you off, which is exactly what you want.
A lot of people think stealth wealth is just this humble, philosophical flex. It absolutely isn't. The ordinary life is armor, and you wear it every single day on purpose. Your Honda Pilot isn't a statement. It's a tool. More importantly, it doesn't carry a $735 average monthly payment, because every single dollar saved from not performing wealth compounds into actual tangible wealth. Because, let's be real, there are massive hidden costs to visible wealth. The very second people know what you have, they start relating to what you have instead of to you. Casual conversations suddenly shift. Unspoken expectations pop up out of nowhere. Distant cousins mysteriously call you after 4 years of total silence. Acquaintances at church start pitching you business ideas. Relatives hit you up for real estate seed capital. The literal temperature of a room fundamentally changes when wealth enters it. By maintaining the appearance of someone who is doing fine but not exceptionally, you buy something money normally can't. Genuine freedom. The freedom to move through life without being perceived as a walking target. The weight of stealth wealth. But listen, this armor, it definitely comes with an emotional cost, and that centers around your best friend, Marcus. Marcus played pickup basketball with you for 6 years. He was there at your mother's funeral. He checks in on you with zero agenda. Now, Marcus has been building a successful food truck business, and he really wants to expand to a brick-and-mortar location. The numbers made sense, but he needed $85,000 to make it happen. You were sitting in your car when he called. For you, $85,000 is just 11 days of passive cash flow across your portfolio. It was a completely frictionless transfer. You could have wired it to him before the call even ended. But you chose to say, and this right here brilliantly illustrates the profound, specific loneliness of stealth wealth. You knew that handing money to someone who isn't structurally ready for it doesn't solve their problem. It just accelerates it. If a business's operations are loose, throwing money at it makes them looser. Capital just buys a faster, much more expensive version of the exact lesson they were going to learn anyway. Writing that check would likely sink his underlying business and honestly probably take your friendship down right with it. So instead of just writing the check, you gave him your time. Literally, 4 consecutive Saturdays sitting at his kitchen table. Week 1, you helped audit his operating costs and found exactly where the business was bleeding. Week 2, you interrogated his lease terms and foot traffic data. Week 3, you helped him renegotiate 2 different vendor contracts. And by week 4, he had organically secured a $60,000 SBA loan and a city grant. He called you in tears when he got the keys, saying he couldn't have done it without you. He built his own success story, without ever knowing you could have just written the check. Performance versus architecture? All right, let's bring this whole narrative full circle right back to that plumbing aisle. You're holding the drain cleaner, the forklift is still beeping, and you just realized you are officially worth $650 million. You probably thought there would be this physical shift in the air, right? A clear before and after. But there isn't. There's just the hum of a life that hasn't changed simply because a number changed. You type out a completely anticlimactic reply to Karen. Thanks, looks right. You pay your $8.47. You don't use a rewards card because, honestly, you can't remember if you have one. You get back into your Honda Pilot with the cracked bumper. Nothing about the outside of your life has changed in the last 40 minutes. But sitting in that car, it hits you. The feeling of success? It was literally never about the size of the number. The performance of wealth requires constant attention, expensive visibility, and it's incredibly fragile to market disruptions. But the architecture of wealth? It's completely unseen. It relies on ordinary armor. It provides this deep, quiet satisfaction of knowing a system you built is running perfectly without drama and entirely without applause. Which leads us to the final, absolutely crucial takeaway from today's explainer.
When you look at your own financial life, your own goals and motivations, you really have to ask yourself a hard question. Are you chasing the applause, or are you chasing the freedom? What are you actually building, and for whom? Think about that next time you see someone driving a matte gray Range Rover. Thanks for learning with me today, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.